Slash again!
Titanic takedown.
What's up, it's your boy Daquan in the building. We're in the building because we can't go outside because everything's quarantined. But good news is we actually have 2 capstones now. We also got a lot of good guns with the DLC. We only have so many slots, but Skullmasher pops off, you can throw that in here. Anarchy is insane, you can throw that in here. Unseen Threat is very good. Just to name a few of the guns, mess around with it, see what you like, and we are going to have some more videos dropping, showcasing some of these new guns inside of Gunboy and some of our other builds that are on the channel. But we have the OG FLAK build updated, doing a whole lot of work at level 57, and let's go ahead and hop right into it. And we have a new flow of combat for our general build. So still rocking the Stagecoach. This time we're running the consecutive hits tonight. Reason why we swapped over to that is because it's able to stack up to 200%. We were running into a situation where we were killed enemies before we hit a good breakpoint to go past 100% weapon ASC. But with this build setup, we are able to get past that, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Have some good alternatives pop up on the side of some guns that you can run instead of the Stagecoach. So Killer Wisp is something that's really important to the setup, as well as what I like to call the Beyblade Grenade, which is a lingering mass recoil contact grenade. So the lingering mass recoil contact grenade is lingering in mass and recoil. This is a really good grenade because it's artillery portions of it end up hitting the enemies a whole lot of different times, and then the Tesla coils will hit the enemies a pretty decent amount. And then in doing that, we'll be able to stack up our dots, which is going to help out with the consecutive hit on the Stagecoach. End up shooting out the Killer Wisp, throw out the grenade at the same time, then you swap over to your Stagecoach. And then in doing that, you'll be able to get your consecutive hits stacked up to 200% very, very, very fast. And then you just flow through the content, just blowing up things with a maxed out Stagecoach. There is a cool little trick that you can do, which some people are familiar with, some people are not. What you want to go ahead and do is have someone with Rakk Attack extra charge on it. In this case, a Killer Wisp with Rakk Attack extra charge would be good. So in swapping over to the Killer Wisp, and then when you see the ammo pop up, you can swap back to a different gun, and then your anoint for your shield as well as your grenade will actually pop up. So that's going to give you your ASCs inside a fadeaway, essentially. Well, your ASCs on your grenade and your shield inside a fadeaway, which means that you're going to be popping enemies faster from the damage, as well as the stacks are going to come up faster because you have the dots from the shield and the ASC applying to not only your Stagecoach but also to your grenade. So you're just going to fly through the content even faster. All of the footage inside the video is without utilizing this trick. Brainstormer, to the same situation. Go ahead and highlight the other one. So Brainstormer, consecutive hits, does a ton of damage. And now that we have the grenade and the Killer Wisp to ramp us up, we're able to, once again, break past that 100% weapon damage ASC breakpoint very, very fast. And Brainstormer just fantastic for large AoE groups and when enemies are flying around at a good pace. And you're not able to hit them too clean with the Stagecoach, depending on your aim. And you can just blow them up running the Brainstormer. Lifesteal is a good option for it. If you do feel like you need the lifesteal, you may not need it, you may need it. This depends on the person. And then we have the Hedgehog, which is the boss killer inside this build setup. This thing is going to allow you to blow up bosses in an instant once you get enough stickies inside of them. And when you are utilizing the Hedgehog and you want more consistency in terms of getting your Hedgehog sticky stacked up, you do want to go ahead and have a Hunter Seeker on. So you're going to be throwing out a few Hunter Seekers. Hedgehog is going to be stacking up the stickies, as well as the Hunter Seeker is going to be able to proc crits naturally. It's going to proc Megavore, as well as Leave No Trace. Leave No Trace is going to give you back ammo inside your Hedgehog, and then you're going to be able to get up to a cool amount of stickies just to pop the enemies, pretty much. Shields, we have a lot of good options as well. Stopgap is the one that I mainly use. 5 seconds of immunity against any situation when you're doing this amount of damage is insane. You're going to be able to clear out areas very, very, very quickly. Where 5 seconds, it just gives you a ton of value. Stopgap is fantastic. The Rico shields are really good. Rico shield is great because not only are the reflections defensive, but when the projectiles end up getting reflected back at the enemy, you're going to get stacks of consecutive hits. So that's going to be a way of maintaining your consecutive hits without having to actually shoot the enemy. And then your pet stacks up consecutive hits as well with the dots and whatnot. So you have a lot of good options. But yeah, Ricochet is fantastic. This is part of the Moxie's Heist DLC. The another stopgap right here. Transformer is another good defensive option. And then for our offensive option, the one shatter chills are really good. You should be able to find these inside of Earl's Venom Machine at this point in time. But just Venom Machine farming overall is the best idea. At this particular moment with the event going on, you're not able to find them inside of normal Venom Machines. So we'll go ahead and update this as I end up getting the level 57 variations of it. So that way everybody can get that inside the save file. For our class mod, Cosmic Stalker is a big one, as well as Bounty Hunter. Cosmic Stalker performs better in mobby situations, while Cosmic Stalker loses out against the Bounty Hunter in terms of bossing in some situations. Wotan does not count as a boss, so that's not really going to help out that much. Hopefully they end up fixing that sometime soon. Doesn't really matter too much because we still have some of the fastest times on Wotan kills. But yeah. Stack bot is not what we're really trying to set up. This is not even a stack bot. This is a trainer because I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing do more than what it says. There has to be some type of bug inside this thing somewhere. There's no way that this class mod is one of the few things inside this game that works the way it's supposed to work, which would be actually a troll. This might just be a troll. We're Pokemon trainers now, so yeah. Going on, we already talked about our good old grenades. Beyblade grenade, fantastic. And then we have our Hunter Seekers. Make sure that you are applying dots to the enemies because the dots end up stacking up consecutive hits, which is fantastic for this build. So for our artifact, we have a ton of good options. The Pearl is one of, if not the best artifact inside the game right now in terms of DPS. And this thing is deceptively good. Shoot anything for a little bit, and you'll see how much damage you actually get. Things that it can roll is magazine size in terms of like offensive wise. Magazine size is like pseudo offensive. Fire rate is like 17% on here, which isn't that great. It can't roll weapon damage nor crit. And then it has like some cool defensive options with like max HP. But yeah, Pearl is fantastic. Cut Purse Auto Idle or Cut Purse will be good for getting you your ammo back if you are rocking a face puncher inside this build. If you feel like you're running out of ammo. I don't run into any ammo issues at all, but just in case someone is, Cut Purse and face puncher gonna get you back your ammo very, very quickly. Last Stand Auto Idle or Last Stand Victory Rush are going to be great options for keeping you alive due to the invulnerability. And then you have the Snowdrift. Once again, Snowdrift Auto Idle, Snowdrift Victory Rush. Same situation, stuff where you get a whole lot of mobility. This is typically what I use when I'm just running back and forth, like running through the DLC. I was working a Snowdrift. One thing that you probably saw in these, which is one big thing to keep in mind, is that magazine size is pretty important if you are going to run a 2 for the magazine size for the Hedgehog. Because 2 magazine size, or the lower magazine size that you do get for the Hedgehog, is going to give you more damage on your stickies. So being at 2, we get 75% per sticky, and then that 50% is going to bump us up to 3, and that's going to allow us to get a nice consistent flow and blow up enemies at a very good rate. Try to find a Hedgehog with 2 and then an artifact with a magazine size, or try to find a Hedgehog with 3 are going to be your best options. And then we didn't talk about our good old banjo. Kind of got left behind a little bit. We don't need it too much now inside this build setup because we have the Killer Wisp as well as the grenade. That's providing us with a little bit more utility past the point of what we're utilizing banjo for. It's okay, but when it's fighting directly against the Pearl, there's no way you run the banjo over the Pearl. It just doesn't make any sense. It's the Pearl is ineffable with, if you will. It's very good. It's very, very good. So for the quick old little skill overview, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Just a quick little preview of it once again. Talk about some of the points that may seem a little bit odd, or some points where people may not be 100% sure why those decisions were made. And then I'll have a link to the build inside of the description. So that way the people that are unfamiliar with like the tooltips for these builds can go ahead and see those things and get a better understanding. That way things flow a little bit faster. We have second intention maxed out because we wanted to go ahead and reload as fast as possible. Less time that we are spending reloading is going to give us more DPS because we are, actually shooting at targets when we, aren't reloading. So second intention maxed out felt pretty good, especially with it being a 100 kill skill. It gets boosted up by Big Game as well as Cosmic Stalker inside of this build variation. Two Fang really doesn't help us out too much because we are mostly capitalizing on the Stagecoach. You can use this with the hedgehogs, but I didn't find a need to have 5 points into Two Fang. I felt like the second edition was working out better for me. Grim Harvest was an option. This gun damage really doesn't help you out too much in the overall math for FLAK. Once you have a lot of gun damage, having such a minuscule amount really doesn't help you out too much. The other place that you can put some points into was Persistence Hunter, which is basically the same situation, unless you want some more action skill duration, then having more points into Persistence Hunter for the action skill duration and that little bit of extra gun damage can be cool. It has nice synergy with the stopgap. In terms of our green tree, it's pretty simple. The one thing that probably stands out for some people is that Hidden Machine is without points, pretty much. I put those 5 points into Rage and Recover. Hidden Machine doesn't work out as well as it may seem like it does on the tooltip. I have a nice little pop-up pretty much explaining that. And with that being the case, Rage and Recover just felt better for adding an extra little bit of survivability, as well as it has synergy with the power inside, because once you are at max HP, you're able to get that 50% damage increase. Now my Circus, fantastic augment for that nice little pet taunt, and actually makes the pet useful. Is better than having to kill an enemy with a pet and having a chance of confusing it, and then it hitting itself with confusion, and then you catching it inside of a Pokeball. And then Until You're Dead is also pretty good. It is a more speedrun oriented variation. It's going to allow you to get that HP regeneration at all times as well, like move around and give you some nice dodges inside of some of the spots where you are a little bit slower. Until You're Dead is a good option. Play around with whichever one that you want to mess around with. Unblinking Eye is the big damage increase for our critical hits. And that is pretty much it. One thing I would like to highlight is that Come On and Slam may be used in a future build. Too Angry to Die is fantastic to keep you alive. And then Harmageddon is fantastic for adding that additional damage to your overall build, because we are utilizing a lot of dots already inside the setup. So this has nice little synergy with what we're doing already. But that is it for your boy. If you have any questions about anything, go ahead and let me know inside the comments below. If you have questions about this tree or anything of that sort, go ahead and let me know. And yeah, we're out of here. Adios.